time, would the audience please stand for the presentation of the colors by the Mosley Marine Corps ROTC Color Guard, and remain standing for the playing of the national anthem, the Pledge of Allegiance led by Trinity Percy, President of Mosley Student Government Association, as well as the posting of the colors and the invocation.
Please join me in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, we thank you and praise you for this glorious day, a day in which we can honor and recognize each of these graduating seniors. Father, we thank you for all of our many blessings and pray that as we enter a world of uncertainty, you will remind us of your unfailing love. And we pray that we will remember that you are the one sure thing we can depend on, not only in times of turmoil, but in times of joy as well. We pray, Father, that you will be with us tonight and keep us safe as we celebrate our graduation. In your name we pray, amen.
Would you please be seated?
Wait for them to go out.
On behalf of the administration, faculty, and staff of A. Crawford Mosley High School, it is with tremendous pride and pleasure to welcome you to the commencement exercises of the class of 1993. This time I would like to recognize the platform guests and ask that they stand and remain standing until all have been introduced. And we would ask the audience to please hold your applause until I have acknowledged each and every one of them. Dr. Stephanie Gall, Superintendent of Bay County Schools. Mrs. Dean Bozeman, School Board Member, District 2. Mrs. Henrietta Swilley, Chairman of the Bay County School Board, District 3. Dr. Robert L. Young, School Board Member, District 5. Mrs. Linda Grantham, School Board Member, District 4. Mrs. Linda Mahavia, Vice Chairman, Bay County School Board, District 1. Dr. Hugh Balboni, Assistant Superintendent for Instruction, sends his regrets and is unable to be here this evening. Mr. Jimmy Hughes, Assistant Superintendent for Administration. Mr. John Taylor, Coordinator of Secondary Education. Ms. Janice Strickland Solaris, the former Assistant Principal for Guidance at Mosley and who is now Principal of West Bay Elementary. Ms. Sandy Watson, Mosley School Advisory Chairman. And Ms. Sue Protz, Mosley's Parent-Teacher Organization. Would you at this time please join me in a round of applause for these distinguished platform guests? The most important purpose of education is to prepare all students for the world that they would face. Those who labor in the classrooms at Mosley High School, as well as counselors and staff members and administrative assistants. They are challenged daily by the practical task of adequately educating young men and women, your sons and daughters, academically, socially, vocationally, helping them become knowledgeable individuals in every sense of the word. And I am therefore truly indebted to the 142 members that make up the Mosley faculty and administrative staff and the additional number of the clerical help, as well as the non-instructional personnel who make the Acoff and Mosley difference, and that of caring, excelling, serving the needs of the students. At this time, I would like to acknowledge the assistant principals and ask that they stand. Dr. Jerry Long, Ms. Ann Tyree, Mrs. Sarah Cooper, Mr. Bob Jordan, along with Mr. Scott Reeve, who is the sponsor of Mosley Student Government Association, Mrs. Erin McGuire, who is the senior guidance counselor, and Mr. Ray Wishart, who is the senior class sponsor, and the entire faculty and staff to please rise and be recognized. I want to publicly thank you one and all for helping make this school year 1992-93 a great and a successful one for Mosley. Thank you. You may be seated. At this time, it gives me tremendous pleasure to introduce to this assembly a young lady who was elected by her peers to serve as the Mosley Student Government President for the school year 1992-93. She has indeed been an asset, a vivacious and dynamic leader, and one that will be sorely missed, Miss Trinity Percy. Trinity?
So many times throughout our lives, we as high school students have yet to seek out our dreams. We have yet to be challenged and coerced to show our real potential. And now, in an instant, that will all change. Each of the graduating seniors tonight have to strive for success with greater effort than ever before. No longer will we have someone to pick us up when we fall down. And no longer are we assured of success. But do not fear, for the class of 1993 is a special one. It is a class of perseverance, dedication, and creativity. It is a group of students with a dream to change the world. Not a group who is satisfied to be spectators, but a group who desires to be leaders and people of action, willing to accept the responsibility of themselves and their decisions. With this, it is my distinct honor to introduce the 1993 senior class motto and theme for tonight's ceremony. Destiny is not a matter of chance. It is a matter of choice. It is not a thing to be waited for. It is a thing to be achieved. And now I introduce Mr. Brent Thomas Blanchard, Mosley's 1993 Salutatorian.
As Salutatorian, it is my great privilege to welcome you, the family members and faculty, on behalf of the class of 1993 to A. Crawford Mosley High School's graduation ceremony. Tonight we recognize the students who have chosen to endure 12-plus years of challenging requirements. And though the last 4 years may have felt they would never end, these students kept their dreams alive and achieved the first step of the American dream, in education. Our class motto states, "Destiny is not a matter of chance, it is a matter of choice. And it is not a thing to be waited for, it is a thing to be achieved." This achievement was made by choice and will act as a foundation for the destiny of every student here. Parents, on behalf of the class, I'd like to thank you for your support throughout these years. It is very easy to get discouraged in high school with so many things happening at one time. Giving up seems so easy when the times are tough, with deadlines approaching right around the corner. All those little comments that you would invariably give, like, "When are you going to get this done?" or just showing an interest in our schoolwork, affected our determination and ultimately contributed to the graduation of these fine students. Teachers, thank you for putting up with us. At times we may have let you down, but you never gave up on us. For the patience and hard work, we are truly grateful. Well, fellas, time has come. Roughly 4 years ago, we entered Mosley carrying the names Baby Dolphin, underclassmen, and worst of all, freshmen. Though many of us will probably become freshmen again, we can all now hold the proud title of alumni. I know many of you are waiting for me to point out that this is a new beginning and that we are the future of America. Well, as much as I tried to work around this widespread theme, I found it's nearly impossible, since it is true. We cannot stop here and merely wait for our destiny. A high school diploma does not mean that we have achieved everything life has to offer. It only signifies the beginning. We must continue to strengthen our foundation, whether it be furthering our education or learning a specific trade. As a great teacher told me, if you do not learn it now, then when will you? This simple question establishes that matter of choice in which our destiny is built upon. Enough said about our future. What's really significant is that we realize that what we make of ourselves is not as important as the happiness we should have doing it. We cannot all be entrepreneurs or doctors, but we can all be ourselves and contribute to society just as the same. Class of 1993, it's been a great 4 years. May your lives be filled with much excitement and that you should succeed in everything that you endeavor. See you in year 2003.
At this time, Jennifer Hawkins, Jennifer Stevens, and Joy Werle will perform a musical selection entitled "I Will Remember You," dedicated to the graduating class of 1993.
how this goes on in time. I'll be your champion and you will be mine. I will remember. I will remember you. Later on, when this fire is an ember, later on, when the night's not so tender, give it time. So it's hard to remember, darling, I will be holding, I'll still be holding to you. I will remember you. So many years come and gone, and yet the memory is strong. One word we never could learn, goodbye. Our love this grows on in time. I'll be your champion and you will be mine. I will remember you. So please remember, I will remember you. I will remember you. I will remember you.
And now it is my pleasure to present to you Charles David Estes, the valedictorian of the class of 1993. David?
On behalf of the graduating class of 1993, I say goodbye to Mosley and its very special faculty. It's rather hard to see it all in. We're on the verge of an entire new period of our lives, and at the same time we're saying goodbye to another. Graduation is our society's ritual of initiation. This ceremony celebrating our graduation from high school is a ceremony marking an end to childhood and our initiation into adulthood. Our many years of school were all about growth and development. Although the primary objective of our school system is to provide an education for young people so that they will become upstanding world citizens, it tends to provide much more. High school provides an environment that aids our developing personalities. It wasn't until high school that we began to see the world through adult eyes. We lost that childish innocence and began to realize how things really worked. It wasn't until high school that we really had to work, both in school and out of school. We learned the lessons of responsibility and hard work as a result. This was just preparation for the adult world, where we will live a long life of working hard to achieve those goals that we set for ourselves. This period of development is called adolescence. During our adolescence, we had tried on the many roles in life to see which one fit us, and graduation marks an end to that period and the beginning of our new role as adults. We learned much more than textbook knowledge during our 4 years at Mosley. We learned just how to be adults. So now, realizing how much we've grown in the past 4 years, we sit here, ready to step out into the world as adults. We're about to receive our society's document of adulthood, our diploma. Our initiation into adulthood is nearly complete, and we're about to gain our independence. Many of us will be moving away from our families to go to college as well, but we mustn't grow old too quickly. We don't have to give up those important qualities of childhood. Youth and vigor are so hard to come by in the adult world. so I say we preserve it. Let's go into this new world with all the excitement we've had as youths and make our mark. No matter what destiny we choose, if we pursue it with an untiring effort, we will succeed. But we must remember, the secret to our energy as youths was the enjoyment of what we did. As kids, we did what we wanted, and consequently we did it well. Perhaps the best advice I've heard about life came from an 8th grade history teacher of mine. He told me that the first goal in life is to get paid for playing. Let's lead a life that we enjoy and support ourselves from it. I can guarantee we won't be growing old quite so soon if we do. So let's have fun for a few more years. We'll experiment a little more, hopefully find our path in life, and once we find it, let's pursue it with all our energy. That's the key to a successful and fulfilling life. Good luck, fellow graduates. And let's not forget all the good times we've had at Mosley. But I'm sure we've got many more to come. Thanks a lot.
To you, the parents, grandparents, relatives, and friends of the members of the senior class of '93, we are honored to have your presence at this graduation ceremony. When we consider what goes into the making of a high school senior, we realize that the efforts are indeed impressive. Memories of the past 12 years are ours to share as these young adults eagerly await their time to walk down the aisle and across the stage to receive their diplomas. As the 1992-93 school year comes to a close, being a member of the Mosley family has never been greater. And in large measure, this is because of parental involvement in the ongoing programs. And I say to you tonight, parents, we are most appreciative of your cooperation and support. And although your son or daughter, as the case may be graduating tonight, we solicit and covet your continued goodwill. Without your encouragement, our programs of academic excellence and extracurricular activities would not be what they are tonight. The 19th graduating class of A. Crawford Mosley High School is indeed the beneficiary of your labor of love. And seniors, members of the class of 1993, during your 4 years at Mosley, one of our primary aims has been to instill in you the love of learning. To love is to change, and to learn is to change. And although these changes may have been both a mixture of pleasure and pain, it is my sincere desire that these variations have caused each of you to develop an attitude that will complement your future. And seniors, tonight, don't be satisfied with just the ordinary or give way to the materialism of this day. I urge you not only to endure, but also to prevail. Each of you knows the feeling of being a dolphin. Your time as a student of the largest senior high school in North Florida has come to an end, and there are no second chances. But as you leave, your life has taken on new meaning because of the Mosley way of life, truly the Mosley advantage. With the conclusion of these commencement exercises, you will be leaving Mosley High School, but Mosley will never leave you. With the dolphin tradition as a part of you, I urge you to face the challenges of the future with the same positive attitude that made 1992-93 school year so very significant. Seniors, as you graduate from Mosley, know that we have endeavored to develop a sense of responsibility to meet your individual as well as collective needs. And through the social aspect of the Mosley school community, we have endeavored to instill in you a sense of thoughtfulness, patience, and understanding of others. In the words of the noted author George Bernard Shaw, we are made wise not by recollection of our past, but by the responsibilities of our future. And as the result of countless dedicated individuals, you have received an adequate education. And I would remind you, however, that the complete education, the perfect education, stems from the fourfold development of mankind. And therefore, I charge you tonight, individually and collectively, with the responsibility of accepting this plan of development as a personal goal, and to increase in wisdom. I challenge you to continue to grow intellectually, realize the challenge of our times, grasp the opportunity to serve and to lead in solving problems, recognize the challenges and rise up and seize the opportunities. To increase in stature implies physical growth and mental maturity. Take care of yourselves. To be in favor with man implies your social growth in the ever-expanding world around you. Continue to explore and expand your horizon of positive trends. And in addition to intellectual attainment, to physical well-being, and the applying of the social graces, I would also remind each of you that a complete education, a perfect education, also includes in favor with God, and that implies spiritual growth. And may God bless you individually and collectively as the class of '93. This commencement service will be the last time that all members of the senior class of '93 will be gathered together in one place at one time. And although class reunions will be held, never again will all of you assemble as the senior class of A. Crawford Mosley High School, 1993. If you choose to live in a vast metropolitan center where teeming millions wind their way daily through concrete canyons, I would urge you to seek a crack in the cement, grow roots, and then bloom where you are planted. Or, on the other hand, if you choose to lodge at the proverbial jumping-off place, or at least so close that you can see it, let your roots take anchor in solid ground and then bloom where you're planted. Seniors, I challenge you tonight to refuse to be a cynic. Look forward at what is to be, not backward at what once was. But I must warn you to be prepared, for criticism is certain to come. And when it does appear, I pray that you will accept it as a tribute to your effectiveness and as a challenge to be worked through in a positive vein and a positive manner. May the criticism of others be the material that you use to make tomorrow a better day. Bloom where you are planted. Do your work with all of your might. And if you are appreciated, applauded, and approved, then so be it. If you are unknown, unnoticed, unrecognized, so be it as well. The flattery and favor of mankind comes and goes. Seniors, let the season for this growth commence tonight as you graduate from Mosley High School. Plant, water, sow, and reap. And give yourself body, soul, mind, and spirit to the worthwhile endeavors of life. Seniors, resolve tonight to bloom wherever you're planted And may the blossoms of your life be a testimony to a job well done. Life, if it is to be successful, must have a purpose, but that alone is not sufficient. It must also have hard and diligent work. And remember the wise man Solomon's advice in Ecclesiastes chapter 9. Whatsoever thy hand findeth to do, do it with all of thy might. And when there are high purposes and goals for life, and when there are evidences of real and diligent work, then there comes the third element that we see in graduation, a meaningful reward. Commencement, therefore, is a time when you leave the formal public school educational preparation and move onward and outward. And I congratulate each of you for setting the goal and working hard to attain it. And my best wishes for the continued success and the future prosperity go with you as you enjoy the rewards of your efforts. And now, as you enjoy the closing moments as a high school senior, we share the knowledge that these years have provided you with some of the best times of your life. And as you mature, as you take the time to pause and ponder and reflect, you will see the truthfulness of this statement by Sophocles. One must wait until the evening to see how splendid the day has been. You are indeed in the evening of the day as a high school senior with night fast approaching. The close of your high school years will stand you at the threshold of a new tomorrow, a tomorrow that will remind you of how grand and glorious these 4 years have truly been. Believe in your heart, believe in your mind that the best is yet to be, and remember that the administration, the faculty and staff covet and solicit your continued support as you mature into adulthood. And to the relatives that are gathered here in this auditorium this evening, to you, the parents, grandparents, relatives, and friends of the members of the senior class of 1993, we are honored to have your presence at this graduation ceremony. When we consider what goes into the making of a high school senior, we realize that their efforts are indeed impressive. Memories of the past 12 years are ours to share with you. And we have truly tried to do that this evening. In every life, there are indeed red letter dates. And on these certain dates are marked as red letter dates, and sometimes they're circled. These are special times for our individual and collective lives and for the 480 graduating seniors of Mosley High School. And this evening is indeed a red letter date. We would again request the audience to please refrain from applauding each recipient. We'll recognize the top 10 scholastic seniors as a group. At the conclusion of the ceremony, we'll give all 480 seniors a standing ovation, I promise you. But if you'll just hold your applause and any outgoing remarks until they've all crossed the stage. We sincerely solicit your cooperation in leading dignity to this occasion. And we hope that you have referred to the insert in your program regarding the proper etiquette. At this time, Mr. Ray Wishart, sponsor of the senior class of 1993, will assist me in the presentation of the diplomas.
Charles David Estes, Brent Thomas Blanchard, Tracy Rochelle Scarborough, Patty Jo L. Keck, Laura Beth Richards, Rochelle Marie David, Clifford Franklin Tompkins, Christopher Allen Evans, Tyson Lee Elmore, Teresa Noel Bishop. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Mosley's top 10 academic students for the class of 1993. Trinity Hope Percy, Jennifer Ruth Lovett, Christy Marie Abbott, Andrea Michelle Abel, Nathan W. Adams, Timothy Kenneth Adams II, Tabitha Ann Addison, Dorothy K. Ige, Kulsum Ahmad, Andrew Robert Accardi Jr., Sean Joseph Alexander, Tara Yvette Alford, Jennifer Corinne Amy, Stephen Charles Anderson, Tyrone Andrews, Kenneth David Arnold, Sybil Elizabeth Askew, Joshua Mark Ausens, Joby Wayne Avery, Robert Lee Backus, Misty Melissa Baker, Anthony Joseph Balloon, Brian Keith Below, Dawn Ann Banfield, Samantha Elaine Barbarian, Donna Marie Barfield, Emily Zoe Bartosh, Steve Edward Bass, Lee Anna Bond, Amethyst Dorothea Baxley, Vicki Lee Beach, Donna Lee Bell, Julie W. Bell, Lori Ann Bell, Melinda Michelle Bellows, Lori Ann Bender, Christopher Stephen Bennett, Brian Scott Bennett, Sean Thomas Berry, Joseph Brian Bigford, Penny Lynn Benford, Dustin Joseph Blair, Catherine Mary Blunt, Joseph Thomas Bonacasa, Jason Thomas Bonton, Robert Christopher Boubier, Mary Catherine Brock, Scott T. Broadbeck, Isaac L. Brown, Irvin Reuben Broxton, Ronald Wayne Bryan, Rebecca Lynn Bryant, John R. Bunkley, William Pearson Burbank, Christina Lynn Burdick, Christopher Charles Burlon, Stephanie Lynn Burnett, Matthew David Burris, Catherine Lee Bush, Sandy G. Bush, Carson Mariah Kane, Daniel Scott Calareso, Anthony Callaway, Clara Jean Cannon, Crystal Ann Carter, Matthew Oliver Chafin, Hillary Adine Capps, David James Clark, Kevin James Clark, Michael Frederick Clark, Devin Ray Clements, Cody Reginald Clemens, April LaShawn Collins, Perry Benjamin Collins IV, James Allen Colvin, Philip Ansley Colvin, Ann Renee Comerford, Ronald Jason Como, Natalie Lynn Connor, Angie D. Corbin, Christina Love Cordell, Christopher Scott Cornwell, Jeremy David Corson, Paula A. Courtney, Daniel Grayson Cox, Stephen Lee Cox, Shauna Denise Crabtree, Billy Jack Creel, Ronnie E. Cromer, Kyra Marie Cross, Dustin Randall Crum, Jared James Curtis, Jennifer Ann Daffin, Kevin Glenn Daniels, Lasagna Denise Daniels, Sean Michael Daniels, Melissa Ann Danley, Michael Clayton Dolphin, Stephanie Michelle Davison, Denisha Nichelle Davis, Joel Stephen Davis, Kevin Lee Davis, Kimberly Ann Davis, Thomas Wesley Davis, Sandra Ellen Day, James Joseph Dean, Bryce Aaron Decker, Amelia Nazira Dean, Susan Jane Deluzane, Brian Clay Denicky, Maria DeBella, Joseph Lewis Deal, Eva Marie Dixon, Aaron Jacqueline Donald, Stephanie Nicole Don, Tony Elizabeth Donovan, Jesse Keith Dunbar, Jennifer Ann Dutton, Billy Paul Diamond, Deborah Marie Eason, Jennifer Melissa Edens, Brent Thomas Eggleston, Gerald Sean Ellis, Angela Denise Emanuel, Michael Jason Emanuel, Tina Denise Emanuel, Latricia D. Eubanks, Michael Earl Evans, Ludwig Wayne Everhart, Charles Justin Fauché, Marcia Patrice Falk, Matthew O'Brien Fender, Mark Charles Lamia, Brian C. Flowers, John Stacy Flowers, Crystal Lynn Foley, Patricia Ann Foth, Holly Christine Franzen, James Aaron Frederick, Jennifer Rebecca Frost, Michael Paul Fulgham, Amanda Jane Fullett, Freddie Lee Gaines Jr., Hosanna Kalima Sirkana Gaines, Jamie Lamont Gaines, LaFrida Lynn Gaines, Charles Gandy, David Hill Gardner, Elaine Colette Aline Gargani, Michael John Garrett, Misty F. Garrett, Liza Gastelum, Lisa Marie Gatch, John Brent Gay, Michael Christopher Geldert, Latoska Mariah Gentry, John Henry Gibbons Jr., Tammy Lynn Gibson, Avery Craig Godwin, Douglas Wayne Goodwin, Bernard Antonio Green, Karen Joy Green, Randall Duran Griffin, Joshua D. Griffith, Crystal Holly Grimes, Olivia Shangriel Grooms, Rebecca Dawn Guidus, Eva Marie Haddock, David Keith Hagans, Christian Dwayne Hall, Maggie Ham, Joshua Kyle Hand, Joy Maria Hardy, Kevin J. Harrington, Anthony Scott Harris, India Lee Harrison, William F. Harrison, Sabrina Yvette Harvis, Jennifer Renee Hawkins, Melissa Marie Henry, Regina Suzanne Hensley, Regina Hewitt, Curtis Lynn Hill, William Ernest Hill III, Paul Brian Halad, Robert Lee Hobbs, Melanie Lynn Holland, Christopher Lee Hood, Victoria Regina Hughes, Christian Champion Humphrey, Jennifer Page Honeycutt, Holly Marie Hunt, Karen Jill Hunt, Danya Elizabeth Hurley, Tammy Wynette Hussey, Jason Dwayne Heiler, Carlton McCoy Jacobs, Kenna Gray Jacobs, Regina Marie Jarvis, Chad Eric Jensen, James Richard Jernigan, Anna Sophia Johansson, Benjamin Lewis Johnson, Jennifer Michelle Johnson, Robert Brentley Johnson, Zering Lohondo Johnson, Brian Neal Jones, Christy Elaine Jones, Michael Shane Jordan, Amy Marie Kahn, Jennifer Lynn Kahn, Rebecca Dawn Keith, Craig Terrell Kent, Leslie Eloise Kent, William Joseph Key, Angie Marie Keeper, Robert Ray Kinney, David Michael Kirkland, Heather Renee Kirkland, Christina Nicole Knoppel, April Michelle Knox, Christopher Douglas Lacey, Charles Jason Land, Michael David Lands, Michael Sean Langford, Timothy Kyle Langford, Heather Ray LaPlante, James Gerald LaPointe, Trina Marie Lassiter, Kelly Ann Lawrence, Jonathan James Lee, Michael Everett Lee, Suzette A. Lee, Jennifer Lee Leonard, Autumn Michelle Lewis, Kristen Ann Lewis, Matthew Allen Livingston, Jennifer Lee Loggins, Joshua David Loggins, Eric Lowe, Lori Lucanti, Brandy Michelle Lucas, Robin Maria Ludlam. Hold on a second. Tina Renee Lynch, Patricia June Max, Brandon J.I. McPherson, Sonia Lee McWadick, Kimberly Dawn Mann, Carla Elaine Markham, Frederick Per Momsatter, Joshua Michael Marcy, Charlene Marshall, Sean William Martin, Shane Lewis Mathis, Willie Edward Mathis, Dawn Marie McCall, Stephen Brantley McAlvin, Rebecca Ann McCamick, Michael Keith McCants Jr., Philip Daniel McCormick, Misty Alicia McCullough, Pamela Amber McKenzie, Jennifer Gale McKern, Matthew Paul McClendon, J.D. McLeod, Sandra Lynn McQuaig, William Michael Meadows, Don Alfred Messer Jr., John Douglas Messer Jr., Kelly Ray Metcalf, Eric William Meyer, Jody Edward Miller, Richard Keith Minthorn, Christopher Owen Montgomery, Stephanie Ann Montrose, Heather Brianna Molly Morgan, Jason Allen Mulder, Larry Dwayne Mullins, Karen Denise Muncie, Nicole Amy Monroe, Heather Suzanne Murray, Stephanie Lee Neese, Cynthia Marie Louise Newberry, Barbara Jill Newman, Samuel Aaron Newman, Stephen Wesley Nichols, Emily Beth Nixon, Sarah Beth Norris, William John Nummy, Darren Brett Odell, Jennifer Marie Odom, Joanna Darlene Odom, Charles David Olmsted, Carolyn Helene Osterberg, Kashika Monita Page, Jackson Marlon Parker, Thomas F. Parker, Leanne Nicole France Parsons. Hold up here. Jeremy Wayne Pate, Clint Fallon Feeden, Brent Michael Peck, Kyle Alden Ediger Peck, Misty May Pendarvis, Gerald W. Pepper, Patricia Ann Peters, Julie Ann Phillips, Mark Eno Phillips, Michael Allen Phillips, Laura Michelle Phillips, Billy Henderson Pope, Micah Daniel Poplin, Robert Michael Porter Jr., Philip Wayne Porter Jr., Michael Lynn Pewitt, John Nelson Queen, Tiffany Renee Reese, Joseph Stevens Reeder II. Rebecca Lynn Reed. Stephen Allen Rutherford. Priscilla Ann Rattiz. Jennifer Leanne Ridge. Brian Kyle Revere. Sherry Lynn Roberson. Bama Jane Roberts. Erica Nicole Roberts. Wendy Lynn Rogers. Heather Leanne Roper. Michael Paul Rosengren. Okima Carlotta Ross. Charles Jason Rotero. Brenda Sue Rudolph. Jimmy Irvin Ruthven Jr. Thomas Anthony Ragula. Cliff Allen Sanders. Dawn Thomas Sapp. Dwayne Thomas Sapp, excuse me. Stacy Lorraine Sauls. Christy Ann Saunders. Andrea Bree Saxon. Kristen Lynn Schultz. Heather Dawn Schofield. James Paul Singh. William Matthew Sexton. Gregory Philip Seymour. Rajesh Kumar Sharma. Y. Vincent Shea. Emma Elaine Shields. Cynthia Marie Shirley. Jason Ross Shiver. Rebecca Ellen Shiver. Eris Diaz Skelton. Rhonda Lee Elizabeth Skavornak. Hold on a second, Chris. Christy Lynn Slowinski. Alicia Dawn Smith. Amy Lynn Smith. Angela Michelle Smith. Charles E. Smith III. Jennifer Joy Smith. Jovina Jane Smith. Tyron D. Smith. Christian Suzanne Solano. Hold on a second. Hanukkah Elise Spencer. Sean J. Sprague. Crystal Nadine St. Clair. Andrea Lynn Stanlin. Luther Emmett Stanford III. Melissa Deanne Stanley. Jennifer Renee Stark. Cameron Brent Starling. Joseph Henry Steele III. Jennifer Joyce Stevens. Kay Elizabeth Stevens. Jason Lewis Steverson. Dawn Maria Stewart. Bobby Elizabeth Stewart. Jack Bradley Stewart. Gerald Dwayne Stewart Jr. Samuel Stewart. Flashe Patron Stone. Hannah Lee Stout. Jason Allen Strickland. Michael Stanley Strickland. Samantha Jean Strickland. Brent Scott Strother. Kara Ann Serber. Lorna Marie Susie. Christy Leanne Sutter. Jesper Christer Swegby. Johan Swenson. Andrea Lynn Sword. Faith April Tabarez. Keith Allen Tagney. James Walker Talaferro Jr. Brandon Stewart Tarpley. Eric D. Taunton. Kimberly Jean Taunton. Richard Carlos Taylor. Lee Vester Tender II. Stephanie Lynn Tharp. James Calvin Thayer. Isaac Richard Thomas. Melissa Ann Thomas. Shelby Ann Thompson. Amanda Jean Thornton. Christopher Blue Thornton. Lynn Leon Tolbert. Sean Carl Robert Tutill. Hold on a second. Jennifer Tragesser. Amanda Janae Treadwell. Jason Anthony Trout. Keith Troll. Bradley Roger Tennell. Carrie Allen Turner. I'd like to once again ask the graduates, please remain quiet for the consideration of your classmates who have not had a chance to have their names called yet. Timothy Dwayne Turner. Stacy Lynn Twigg. Michael Gene Tyler. Aaron James Vandervest. Tamitha Ann Van. James Derek Veal. Angie Nicole Vickery. Charles Edward Vosell II. Theron Wayne Wallace. Paul Michael Ward. Chad Gregory Ward. Ashley Renee Warren. Ricky Elaine Warren. Melanie Erica Washington. Cindy Michelle Weathersby. Jeffrey Bain Wheatonhap. Matthew Thomas Welch. Joy Anna Werle. Melissa Ann Whaley. Poinsettia Twinella White. Bob Lee Whitmer. Charla Lynn Wiley. Kenneth Ray Whiteman. Chris Leonard Wilbur. Sean Lamont Wilder. Dina Louise Williams. Elizabeth Lee Williams. Gregory Scott Williams. Michelle Leah Williams. Tina Renee Williams. Mary Mae Abigail Wilson. Robert Allen Wilson. Brandy Renee Winters. Holly Marie Wise. Dominique Wood. Lewis Wright Jr. Raymond Lynn Yarley. Robert Allen Young. Kelly Lynn Zur. Brandy Joe Sims. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, introduce you to the graduating class of 1993.
You may be seated. Superintendent Gall, I'm always amazed, usually impressed, and incredibly blessed in my association with the young adults who make up the student body of A. Crawford Mosley High School year after year. Even so, occasionally one class stands out above the rest, as evidenced tonight. The class of '93 falls into that category. The graduating class has been an exceptional class, a very special class, if you please. They are indeed a credit to the community, a credit to the homes that are represented here this evening, and most assuredly a credit to A. Crawford Mosley High School. Their spirit, their enthusiasm, their devotion, their determination to excel in academics as well as extracurricular activities will be sorely missed. Therefore, it is with a note of regret, but with a tremendous amount of doffing pride, that I proudly present to you the 480 graduating seniors of A. Crawford Mosley High School for the school year 1993. Dr. Gall.
I think this is going to sound very good to you. 1993 graduating class of Mosley High School. On behalf of the Bay District Schools, it is my privilege to congratulate you, each and every one, on this very special occasion. I wish you success, health, happiness, and a realization of your own self-determining creative power. Yes, to everything there is an end, so savor those memories, if you will. But keep in mind that tomorrow brings opportunities and challenges of its own. Remember that we care about you. So stay safe this evening, for your sake, the sake of your families, the sake of your fellow classmates, and the sake of others. Please participate in Project Graduation. And now, you don't want to wait any longer for this. And now, by the authority vested in me, by the Constitution of the great state of Florida, I pronounce you graduates.
Thank you, Superintendent Gall. And now your senior class president, Jennifer Lovett. Jennifer?
Good evening, class of '93 graduates. In the past 4 years, we've all shed tears of sadness and laughter. We face decisions and choices that will affect the rest of our lives. There have been challenges, and you know the feeling of satisfaction once accomplishing a goal. We couldn't have achieved these goals without the help of other people. To the faculty and staff, I would like to thank you for your help in caring for us. To my family, Dad, Mom, James, Grandma, and Patrice, thank you for your support and encouragement. I love you. To class of '93, it's just a matter of time before we'll each be going in separate directions. We'll each be confronting the demands and challenges of the world. I encourage each of you to set goals for your life and persevere till you meet those goals, and don't let circumstances or people discourage you from reaching your goal. Good luck, and I'll see you in 10 years. At this time, with the class of '93, please stand. We move our tassels from left to right to signify that we are graduates. Will you please join me as we move our tassels from the left to the right? Will the audience please stand also for the Alma Mater?
Thank you, Jennifer, and members of the Mosley Concert Choir. Now, seniors, you may be seated. As the formal aspect of our graduation ceremonies comes to a conclusion, the Magnificent Seven, and you may take your places at this time, the Magnificent Seven, on behalf of the faculty, staff, administration, and I know good and well that I speak for the parents, they have a message that they would like to deliver to the senior class. The Magnificent Seven.
1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Give, sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na, ba-da. Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na, ba-da. Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na, ba-da. Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na, ba. Give, mama, 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 give a job. Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na.
You even worry about it. Give me Alma Mater and get a job.
Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na.
You're out of breath for
Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na. I'll never be able to say, get a job. Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na, ba-da. Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na, ba-da. Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na, ba-da. Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na, ba. Yip, mama, 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 get a job. Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na.
Well, I get the paper, I read it, through and through, and my girl never fails to say, if there is any work for me. And then I go back to hear that woman's mouth,
tell me that I'm lying about a job that I never could find. Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na, ba-da. Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na, ba-da. Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na, ba-da. Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na, ba. Yip, mama, 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 get a job. Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na, get a job. Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na, get a job. Sha-na-na-na, sha-na-na-na-na, get a job.
Thank you, Magnificent Seven. Maestro, Mr. Jordan, are you ready? All right, let's go. Faculty, would you please move along and not lollygag? These seniors would like to get out of here. And now, Mr. Ray Wishart, your senior class sponsor. Mr. Wishart.
My final act as a very proud class sponsor of the class of 93 would ask the audience please remain seated. Graduates, class of 93, please rise. Mr. Rogers.